Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
I've got a story here sent to me by a whole bunch of people. It's out of California, and it's from ABC News, and it was written by Leah Sarnoff. California man discovers he's paid his neighbor's electric bill for up to 18 years. He's been paying his neighbor's bill for 18 years. All along, he thought it was just simply his own bill, and his own bill was somehow kind of inflated. So the man's from California. He began to question the amount of his electric bill every month, and he realized that it may have been an 18-year-old mistake, and it turns out that it was. So the man is a customer of Pacific Gas and Electric, or PG&E. He's lived alone in an apartment complex since 2006. He told that to ABC News, San Francisco affiliate. But he said he started to notice his bill rise. And so in an effort to lower costs, he told the outlet, he tried to cut back on usage and purchased a device to help monitor how many watts his appliances use. So he recently thought his bill was getting too high, started investigating, and that's when he realized that things may have been wrong for quite some time. He goes, even after I turned off my breakers, I kept going outside to check my meter to see if it was still running, and it was. So theoretically, if he's got all the power shut off, you'd think the meter would stop running. He goes, I couldn't believe it. So he called PG&E, and they sent a rep out to his apartment to check the meter, and they said, no, your suspicions are actually correct. There's something going on here. So the utility company released a statement to ABC News saying that the man had been paying the electric bill for the apartment next to him since possibly 2009. Now, that would be 3 years after he had moved in. So he moved in 2006. They said, our preliminary investigations found the meter number for the customer's apartment was being billed to another apartment since potentially 2009. So it looks like they had these things switched. They owned up to the mistake, that is PG&E, and they said the company is committed to rectifying the situation with the customer. So since he's had the same agreement with PG&E since he moved into the complex in 2006, the man told Channel 7 and other media outlets he believes the costly mistake has been going on longer, but it would have predated his time in the apartment. Now, PG&E says, we sincerely apologize for the oversight and regret any inconvenience caused by the duration of this issue. Of course, inconvenience, we're talking about money. In an update to ABC News, PG&E said that the man's meter was fixed so that he's only paying for his own electricity, and that he's credited $600 to his account with the company. We'll get back to that. PG&E also urged fellow customers who are worried about their usage and billing to verify their meter is correct by comparing the meter ID number on the electrical panel to that on their monthly bill. So there should be a conformity. Those two things should somehow be related. So you look at your bill, it should say this is for such and such a meter with a number on it. You go look at your meter to make sure it matches that number. I've heard of these problems before, though, and it's usually in multi-unit buildings, whether an apartment or a house that's been turned into apartments. And here's the interesting question, though. Most people right now are going, wait, $600 for being charged 18 years? If that's how that's spread out, that wouldn't have been that much. Oh, it was probably a lot more. But here is a legal question, and this is a problem. You have to understand that when something happens to you that is wrong, and I watched Austin Powers yesterday. What can I tell you? Lasers. When something happens to you that is wrong, and you lose money because of it, and you want to recover your money from whoever it is that benefited, you have to find a legal theory that will allow you to do that in a court of law if you choose to pursue this in court. A big corporation like PG&E isn't just going to go out and start handing out money to people going, oh, we think we owe you money, here's some money. They're going to have their legal department look at this and go, okay, how much money do we actually owe the guy legally? And that's where this falls apart, because this would be a civil wrong. That is, it's not a crime. It's not like people need to go to jail because this man's been paying the wrong electrical meter. What's going to happen is they're going to say, oh, this is a civil action where this company owes this guy money for a mistake that it looks like the company made, right? Okay, what's the legal theory that would allow the man to recover that money? It doesn't appear to be intentional, does it? Because then you could say it's some kind of fraud or something. Misrepresentation? Not really. How about unjust enrichment? Unjust enrichment. That is where somebody benefits to your detriment, and it would be unfair to let them keep the proceeds. You say, Steve, that sounds really good. Well, the problem is that unjust enrichment or fraud or misrepresentation or almost any breach of contract, almost any legal theory that is rooted in civil law is going to have a statute of limitations on it. And the statute of limitations in most cases is anywhere from 3 to 6 years. And 6 is considered long. So if this guy's been overpaying his bill or paying the wrong bill for 18 years, someone in the legal department's going to go, well, guess what? We get to keep 12 years of that probably, because there's no legal theory that would require us to give it back to him. Meaning that if you went to court, proved every single factor, and the court agreed with every single thing on his side of this equation, they'd still go, but you can't get money back for 18 years ago, 17 years ago, 16. That's way too far back. Now, you might say, but Steve, that's so inappropriate. Keep using the word wrong, so that way I stepped around it. Inappropriate. Well, here's the thing. I personally think that PG&E ought to step up and, as a matter of public relations, say, you know something, we understand that the law says that we don't have to give this guy that money. But as a matter of goodwill, public relations, we will, because it's not his fault, and quite frankly, we can afford to give him his money back. Why not? And so they could turn this into a big public service announcement and say, as we urge fellow customers worried about their usage and billing to verify their meter's correct, this guy here is the poster child of that. We're sorry it happened, but mistakes were made. And tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give him back all his money. Because like I said, don't think $600 is all his money for 18 years paying the wrong bill. So it's a weird story, but weirder yet is the fact that he can't get made whole legally. And I know some people are going to say, but Steve, that's harsh. Why do the courts do that? Why do the laws do that? Statutes of limitation are codified. They're in the law books. So the law books behind me contain the statutes of limitation in the state of Michigan, and every state's got their own. And of course, the feds have got their own. And they're designed so that people don't wait forever to bring legal claims. Because if somebody were to wrong you today and you waited 20 years to sue them, witnesses have disappeared, people have forgotten what happened, and they want people to bring cases in a timely manner. Now, there are situations that fall through the cracks, so people don't find out they've got a cause of action, and there are some causes of action that are triggered by not when something happened, but when something was discovered or should have been discovered. But those are usually much more serious issues, and there are also some criminal causes of action that talk about that as well. But here, this would certainly be civil because it looks like it was simply a mistake where somebody got the wrong meter attached to the wrong address, and they're doing it that way. So it's a wild story, but I'll admit, I've never taken my power bill outside and compared it to the meter on my house. I never have. Guess what I'm doing with my next power bill? I am going to do it just, if nothing else, as a salute to this story. But PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, if you aren't in California or you don't know, they don't have the greatest reputation. They don't. And in fact, there's some American Greed episodes on MSNBC devoted entirely to actions of PG&E or that involved PG&E. So a lot of times monopolies, power companies often are monopolies or de facto monopolies because that's just the way things work out. There are some places where you can choose between one or two, but quite often it's just the one that you have the choice of. It's not much of a choice to have a choice of one. So they often do kind of get lax with some of their activities. And so, like I said, I think they should do the math and give the guy back all his money. Give him one of those big, comically large checks like you get, from Publishers Clearinghouse, and hold a press conference and go, hey, we're giving this guy back all his money just to show you that deep down we're good people. But as it is right now, he's getting back $600. But he thinks this whole thing could go back to '09 or '06 and possibly even earlier. But just with him being in the apartment, possibly 18 years he's paying for somebody else's electric bill. So Leah Sarnoff wrote that abcnews.go.com published it, and a lot of people sent it. Thank you very much. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. We never really grow up. We only learn how to act in public.